The first alert weather team is continuing to track the tropics as Erin makes its way through the Atlantic. This was taken by NOAA's hurricane hunters flying through the eye of the storm. And the first alert weather team says Erin is one of the fastest, rapidly intensifying storms in the Atlantic Ocean's history. Yesterday, we saw that in real time, and then later on, it upgraded.
That's right. And through the show yesterday in the morning, we were seeing that rapid intensification. It became a Category 5 hurricane, and that video that you just saw is what we call the stadium effect. So it's like you're in a stadium, you look up and you see the eye wall, and then above it, you've got the blue skies and the sunshine. So that's a very powerful storm, and certainly it was a very intense storm, still is very intense, but in terms of how quickly it intensified, here's a pretty interesting list. So we talk about the pressure of a hurricane in millibars, and generally the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm, and the rate of pressure dropping is an indication of how fast the storm is strengthening. So the record holder in the Atlantic for the largest 24-hour pressure drop is Wilma in October of 2005. That dropped nearly 100 millibars in 24 hours, which is incredible rate of intensification. Last year we had Milton in the Gulf. That dropped 79 millibars in 24 hours. And yesterday we had Erin in the Atlantic, and that dropped 78 millibars over the course of 24 hours. And we usually see a corresponding increase in the wind speed as the pressure goes down. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. By Friday evening, this was a minimal Category 1 hurricane. And notice by yesterday afternoon, rapidly intensifying Category 5 with winds of 160. And now it's fluctuating a little bit as the structure of the storm is starting to change. Before it was a small, compact hurricane, and now it's growing in size. And you can see here just due north of Puerto Rico, the eye is still there, but it's a little less defined than it was earlier. But the environment is still very favorable for tropical cyclones. The water is very warm, the wind shear is light, and there's not a whole lot of dry air. So over the next couple of days, this could re-intensify once again as the storm structure continues to expand in size. There's still high confidence in that forecast path, taking this to the northwest, then to the north, and ultimately the northeast, hopefully in between Bermuda and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So we'll still have to watch as there's still some uncertainty on just exactly where that turn occurs, but very high confidence the turn will happen, and it will happen far away from Florida and Georgia. So that's good news. But you'll notice by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're still talking about a major hurricane. So that's 4 days of a very powerful hurricane not far away from our local coastline. Now, the big hazard with this for the southeast is going to be waves and rip currents. And you can see here the green shading and of course the yellow, that's where the storm is in terms of where the highest waves are. But you'll notice the storm gets bigger with time. So here's Monday evening, there's Erin, and you'll notice some of those waves and the swell energy reaching our coastline, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the coast of Georgia and Florida. That's when we're talking about breakers that'll be 4 to 6 feet, perhaps 5 to 7. And then offshore seas ranging anywhere from 8 to 12 feet. So that's going to be quite hazardous, and the rip current risk is also going to be very high for several days at our beaches. But fortunately, that's it when it comes to Erin. Behind Erin, we'll be watching another area that could develop into something tropical in the next week, and this area looks to eventually make it a little farther west versus Erin, which we'll be going out to sea. So that's worth watching, but plenty